Sports films showcase athletes' heart and humanity, often based on real sports stars. To find the best true event sports movies, 24/7 Tempo used IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes ratings, excluding documentaries. Football players and teams are often featured, but other sports and figures are also portrayed. We Are Marshall has a 7.0/10 rating on IMDb and a 79% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Starring Matthew McConaughey, Matthew Fox, and Anthony Mackie, the film is based on the true story of the 1970 Marshall University football team who died in a plane crash. It follows a surviving player and the new coach as they rebuild the team. The Rotten Tomatoes Tomatometer score is 48%. Tommy's Honour 2016 is a Scottish film about early golfers in the 1860s, following the story of Tommy Morris as he surpasses his golfing pioneer father. Starring Benjamin Wainwright, Peter Mullen, and Jack Lowden, it has an IMDb rating of 6.4/10 and a Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 68% and a Tomatometer score of 67%. IMDb, 6.7/10, 101,040 votes, RT audience score, 65%, 107,316 votes, RT Tomatometer score, 68%, 156 reviews, starring Will Smith, Jamie Foxx, Jon Voight. This film follows Muhammad Ali's journey from 1964 to 1974, including his name change, winning the heavyweight championship, and his refusal to be drafted into the military. Greater than IMDb user rating, 6.8/10, 7,410 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 78%, 7,358 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes Tomatometer score, 56%, 36 reviews, greater than. Starring Jared Leto, R. Lee Ermey, Ed O'Neill. Prefontaine chronicles the life of long-distance runner Steve Prefontaine, from his early days as a high school athlete to his competition in the 1972 Olympics to his untimely death at the age of 24. Greater than IMDb, 7.0/10, 46,520 votes, greater than RT audience score, 68%, 35,574 votes, greater than RT Tomatometer score, 64%, 149 reviews, greater than. Starring John Hamm, Asif Mandvi, Alan Arkin, based on the true story of Rinku Singh and Dinesh Patel, two Indian pitchers who were recruited by a sports agent after winning a reality TV competition. Concussion has a 7.1/10 IMDb rating and a 74% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, with a 58% Tomatometer score. Starring Will Smith, Alec Baldwin, and Albert Brooks, the film is based on the 2009 exposé, Game Brain, by Jean-Marie Lascaz and follows Dr. Bennett Omalu's fight against the NFL's denial of a link between football and CTE. IMDb, 5.8/10, 4,954 votes, RT audience score, 89%, 2,500 votes, RT Tomatometer score, 60%, 122 reviews, starring Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno. This comedy follows a group of spirited older women who win Super Bowl tickets and face obstacles on their journey to meet Tom Brady. IMDb, 7.1/10, 56,006 votes, RT audience score, 81%, 68,359 votes, RT Tomatometer score, 55%, 146 reviews, starring Heath Ledger, Emile Hirsch, Victor Rasik. Synopsis: former skateboarder Stacy Peralta reflects on his time with the influential Z-Boys in Santa Monica and Venice. Dreamer is a heartwarming film about a young girl who helps an injured racehorse recover and prepare for racing once more. Starring Kurt Russell, Dakota Fanning, and Oded Fehr, the movie has an IMDb rating of 6.8/10 and a Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 78%. It has received positive reviews from viewers, with a Tomatometer score of 64%. The Express has a 7.2/10 IMDb rating and a 75% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. It's about Ernie Davis, the first African American to win the Heisman Trophy, and his journey from childhood to his successful college football career at Syracuse University, where he faced racism on and off the field. Davis led the team to an undefeated season and a national championship in 1960. IMDb, 7.2/10, 29,062 votes, Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 76%, 49,978 votes, Tomato meter score, 64%, 158 reviews. Starring Diane Lane, John Malkovich, Margot Martindale. Housewife takes over father's stables, with help from veteran trainer, and leads racehorse secretariat to Triple Crown victory. Invincible, 2006, stars Mark Wahlberg, Greg Kinnear, and Elizabeth Banks and tells the true story of Vince Papale, a bartender from South Philadelphia who became a member of the Philadelphia Eagles in 1976. It has a 7.0/10 rating on IMDb and a 73% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes based on 87,684 votes. The tomato meter score is 72% based on 136 reviews. Goon, 2011, has a 6.8/10 rating on IMDb and a 71% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Starring Sean William Scott, Jay Baruchel, and Allison Pill, the film is based on the autobiography of Doug Smith and follows the story of a gentle man who becomes a tough enforcer on a minor league hockey team. The film has an 81% tomato meter score on Rotten Tomatoes. Starring Shia LaBeouf, Stephen Delane, and Elias Koteas, The Greatest Game Ever Played, has a 7.4/10 IMDb rating and an 82% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. The film follows the story of Francis Ouimet, a 20-year-old American amateur golfer who challenges his idol, British Open champion Harry Bardon. It has a 63% tomato meter score on Rotten Tomatoes. Battle of the Sexes is a highly rated film starring Emma Stone and Steve Carell, based on the famous 1973 tennis match between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. It has a 6.7/10 IMDb rating and a 71% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb, 6.9/10, 35,440 votes, RT audience score, 70%, 61,164 votes, RT tomato meter score, 84%, 155 reviews, starring Dennis Quaid, J.D. Evermore, Rachel Griffiths. After a shoulder injury derails his MLB dreams, Jim Morris becomes a high school teacher and coach. However, a twist of fate lands him in the major leagues in his late 30s. IMDb, 7.3/10, 153,299 votes, RT audience score, 85%, 406,791 votes, RT tomato meter score, 64%, 150 reviews, starring Samuel L. Jackson, Rick Gonzalez, Robert Richard. Synopsis: a new coach transforms a struggling high school basketball team into undefeated champions, but their poor academic performance leads to a benching until they improve their grades. Foxcatcher has a 7.0/10 IMDb rating and a 66% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. Starring Steve Carell, Channing Tatum, and Mark Ruffalo, the film is based on the true story of Olympic wrestler Mark Schultz and his tumultuous relationship with wealthy heir John DuPont, which leads to the murder of Schultz's brother Dave. The film has an 87% Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score based on 248 reviews. Invictus, starring Morgan Freeman, Matt Damon, and Tony Kagoroj, has a 7.3/10 IMDb rating and a 75% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. The film depicts Nelson Mandela's efforts to unite South Africa after apartheid through rugby, leading to the 1995 Rugby World Cup Championship. The Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score is 76% based on 246 reviews. Greater is a film about Brandon Burlsworth, a walk-on college football player who overcomes weight-related ridicule to become a standout player. Tragically, he is killed in a car crash just 11 days after being drafted into the NFL. The film has an IMDb rating of 7.3/10 and a Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 85%. IMDb, 7.3/10, 74,088 votes, RT audience score, 76%, 118,456 votes, RT tomato meter, 77%, 206 reviews, starring Tobey Maguire, Jeff Bridges, Elizabeth Banks. This film follows Seabiscuit, an underestimated racehorse who became a cultural icon during the Great Depression and the top racehorse of the 30s. Cool Runnings 1993 has a 7.0/10 IMDb rating, 106,274 votes, and an 81% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, 533,040 votes. Starring John Candy, Leon, and Doug E. Doug, the film tells the inspiring true story of the Jamaican national bobsleigh team's debut in the 1988 Winter Olympics. Against all odds, the underdogs and their disgraced former Olympian coach defy expectations and capture hearts. IMDb, 7.6/10, 336,377 votes, RT audience score, 85%, 431,935 votes, RT Tomatometer score, 66%, 206 reviews, starring Quinton Aaron, Sandra Bullock, Tim McGraw based on Michael Lewis' book, The Blind Side, Evolution of a Game. This film follows the story of Michael Orr, a homeless teenager who finds a new home with a wealthy family that becomes his legal guardians. Greater than IMDb, 6.9/10, 1,832 votes, greater than RT audience score, 77%, 1,214 votes, greater than RT Tomatometer score, 83%, 24 reviews, greater than starring Anthony Perkins, Carl Malden, Norma Moore based on Jimmy Pearsall's memoir. This film depicts his battle with anxiety and depression, pushed to the brink by his controlling father. It culminates in a nervous breakdown and institutionalization. IMDb, 6.8/10, 24,259 votes, RT audience score, 74%, 1,843 votes, RT Tomatometer, 92%, 63 reviews. A Prayer Before Dawn follows boxer Billy Moore's addiction struggles in Thailand, leading to imprisonment and Muay Thai fights for freedom. Greater than IMDb user rating, 7.3/10, 94,751 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 82%, 22,932 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes Tomatometer score, 81%, 203 reviews, greater than starring Taron Egerton, Hugh Jackman, Tom Costello, Eddie the Eagle, follows Michael "Eddie" Edwards, a tenacious and dedicated young athlete who beats the odds to become the first contender in 60 years to represent Britain in Olympic ski jumping. Film about World War II-era Women's Baseball League, starring Tom Hanks and Gina Davis, with 7.3/10 IMDb rating and 84% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Greater than IMDb user rating, 7.2/10, 20,901 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 79%, 12,698 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes Tomatometer score, 86%, 51 reviews, greater than starring John Cusack, Clifton James, Jace Alexander based on the Black Sox scandal. This semi-fictionalized film portrays the conspiracy of 8 members of the Chicago White Sox who accepted bribes to intentionally lose the 1919 World Series. Friday Night Lights has a 7.2/10 rating on IMDb and an 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, with a Tomatometer score of 82%. The film stars Billy Bob Thornton, Jay Hernandez, and Derek Luke, and follows the 1988 Permian High School Panthers football team as they compete for the state championship in the divided town of Odessa, Texas. Greater than IMDb user rating, 7.1/10, 2,918 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 81%, 1,260 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes Tomatometer score, 88%, 8 reviews, greater than starring James Stewart, June Allison, Frank Morgan. When star White Sox pitcher Monty Stratton loses his leg after a hunting accident, he learns how to make use of his wooden leg with the support of his dedicated wife and makes a minor league comeback. Without Limits, starring Billy Crudup, Donald Sutherland, Monica Potter, has an IMDb rating of 7.2/10, 7,220 votes, a Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 91%, 7,861 votes, and a Tomatometer score of 79%, 39 reviews. The film portrays the bond between Steve Prefontaine, a track and field athlete in the 1972 Olympics, and Bill Bowerman, the co-founder of Nike and a renowned track and field coach. IMDb, 7.4/10, 39,679 votes, RT audience score, 88%, 26,649 votes, RT Tomatometer, 80%, 133 reviews. Starring Kevin Costner, Maria Bello, Ramiro Rodriguez. Fired from teaching jobs, Coach Jim White turns around a struggling cross-country team at a Latino school in McFarland, California. IMDb, 7.5/10, 64,886 votes, RT audience score, 90%, 127,331 votes. RT Tomato Meter score, 78%, 46 reviews, starring Sean Astin, Jon Favreau, Ned Beatty Daniel, Rudy Rudiger, born in a steel mill town, dreams of playing football at Notre Dame despite low grades, no money, and a small stature. He works tirelessly to make the team and follows his dreams. Greater than IMDb user rating, 7.4, 10, 55,605 votes. Greater than Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 90%, 57,108 votes. Greater than Rotten Tomatoes Tomato Meter score, 81%, 165 reviews. Greater than starring Kurt Russell, Patricia Clarkson, Nathan West under the guidance of player-turned-coach Herb Brooks. The 1980 United States men's Olympic hockey team heads to the 1980 Winter Olympics to face off against the nearly invincible Soviet team. Remember the Titans follows a Virginia high school's football team in 1971 as the black head coach and white defensive coordinator unite the players to overcome racial differences. Starring Denzel Washington, Will Patton, and Wood Harris, the film has a 7.8/10 IMDb rating and a 93% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. Greater than IMDb user rating, 7.5, 10, 8,418 votes. Greater than Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 87%, 2,418 votes. Greater than Rotten Tomatoes Tomato Meter score, 83%, 12 reviews. Greater than starring Paul Newman, Pier Angeli, Everett Sloan. This biopic on legendary American boxer Rocky Graziano tells the story of the knockout legend's rise from a delinquent youth and Army deserter to world middleweight champion. IMDb, 7.6, 10, 98,363 votes. RT audience score, 87%, 55,668 votes. RT Tomato Meter, 83%, 114 reviews. Starring Denzel Washington, Vitalis Shannon, Deborah Kara Unger. Based on Reuben Hurricane Carter's wrongful murder conviction, the film depicts his 20-year imprisonment and the unwavering support of Lesra Martin. Heart Like a Wheel, IMDb, 6.7, 10, RT audience score, 82%, RT Tomato Meter, 100%, stars Bonnie Bedelia, Beau Bridges, and Bruce Barlow. It follows the inspiring journey of Shirley Muldowney, the pioneering female drag racer who broke gender barriers, won championships, and became an icon in the sport. Chariots of Fire, 1981, has a 7.1/10 IMDb rating and an 80% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It stars Ben Cross, Ian Charleson, and Nicholas Farrell and follows the story of two British athletes in the 1924 Olympics, one running to honor God and the other to overcome prejudice. IMDb, 7.1/10, 82,697 votes. RT audience score, 86%, 5,034 votes. RT Tomato Meter score, 93%, 241 reviews. Starring Dwayne Johnson, Lena Headey, Vince Vaughn. This comedy drama follows a family of former wrestlers as their children audition for the WWE. Their daughter Paige is chosen to train while their son Zach is left behind. IMDb, 7.8/10, 55,754 votes. RT audience score, 89%, 35,818 votes. RT Tomato Meter score, 82%, 144 reviews. Starring Anthony Hopkins, Diane Ladd, Ian Ray. Based on the life of Burt Munro, a New Zealand speed bike racer who set a land speed record at the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah in 1967. This film follows Munro's journey of rebuilding a 1920 Indian Scout motorcycle. Cinderella Man is a highly rated film with an IMDb user rating of 8.0/10 and a Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 91%. Starring Russell Crowe, Renee Zellweger, and Craig Bierko, the movie tells the story of James J. Braddock, a former boxer who faces adversity during the Great Depression but finds an opportunity for a comeback. Greater than IMDb, 7.4/10, 47,992 votes. Greater than RT audience score, 88%, 50,777 votes. Greater than RT Tomato Meter score, 91%, 45 reviews. Greater than starring Gene Hackman, Barbara Hershey, Dennis Hopper. Greater than Hoosiers is inspired by the 1954 Milan, Indiana, high school basketball team. It follows a small-town school in Indiana as a new coach tries to transform the team into winners, with the assistance of a local drunkard. IMDb, 7.5, 10, 219,878 votes, RT audience score, 88%, 12,586 votes, RT Tomato Meter score, 90%, 384 reviews, starring, Margot Robbie, Sebastian Stan, Allison Janney. Synopsis. Tonya Harding's rise in figure skating and the Olympics takes a dark turn when she becomes involved in a vicious attack on rival Nancy Kerrigan. Moneyball has a 7.6/10 rating on IMDb and an 86% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, with a 94% tomato meter score based on 267 reviews. Starring Brad Pitt, Robin Wright, and Jonah Hill, the film is based on Michael Lewis' 2003 book and follows the Oakland Athletics' 2002 season and their manager's use of statistical analysis to build a winning team. Greater than IMDb user rating, 7.8, 10, 371,534 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 89%, 121,585 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score, 91%, 254 reviews, greater than starring, Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bale, Amy Adams. The Fighter follows young boxer, Irish Mickey Ward as he realizes his potential while his trainer and older half-brother, former boxer Dickie Eklund, falls into drug addiction. Greater than IMDb user rating, 8.1, 10, 482,996 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes audience score, 88%, 79,330 votes, greater than Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score, 89%, 235 reviews, greater than starring, Daniel Bruhl, Chris Hemsworth, Olivia Wilde. James Hunt and Niki Lauda are both talented Formula One race car drivers with contrasting styles who quickly become rivals and go head-to-head during the 1976 racing season. The Pride of the Yankees is a highly rated film that pays tribute to Lou Gehrig, a legendary baseball player for the New York Yankees. It highlights his record-breaking career and tragic battle with a rare disease. Starring Gary Cooper, Teresa Wright, and Babe Ruth, it has received positive reviews from both critics and audiences. IMDb, 8.2, 10, 356,943 votes, RT audience score, 93%, 131,523 votes, RT Tomato Meter, 93%, 76 reviews. Starring Robert De Niro, Kathy Moriarty, Joe Pesci. Raging Bull depicts the destructive rage of middleweight boxing champ Jake LaMotta, which aided his career but ruined his personal life. Ford vs. Ferrari, starring Matt Damon, Christian Bale, and Jon Bernthal, tells the story of the intense competition between Henry Ford II and Enzo Ferrari as they race to build the best car for the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans endurance race. With an IMDb rating of 8.1, 10 and a Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 98%, this film is a must-see for sports movie fans.